Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the American lock number A895. This is a locking bolt, 3/4 inch, steel throw, chrome plated. They're sold as each. This client happened to buy 6. There are 6 in a case. Well, there's 6 in a box. There may be four boxes in a case. I don't really know, but there are 6 in this box. We're going to take one out and take a look at it. This item weighs about 1.8 pounds, right in that range. And this is a fairly common locking bolt. American Lock's not the only people who would make such an item that would take a padlock, but they are a name quite known for it. Okay. Let's take a look at the contents of the box. We're going to go over the contents of the box along with the installation instructions, and let's do that. Let's do that right now. And before we get to the installation instructions, let's just go over the product itself, and I'll refer to them, and they are linked to down below in this video. We have the A is the bolt mounting assembly, which is here. Okay, this is simply operated by pulling out the spring-loaded handle. Okay. Completely captive. It's not going to move. That's where you're going to run your padlock through. Sorry, right there. Or obviously here. And so on. Okay, through any of those holes. Locks in place. Now, the bolt mounting assembly, the overall length, it's about 6 inch. By maybe 15/16 by 15/16. Stamped information on the face of the unit. 895 hardened bolt, American lock. Okay. Now the projection of the bolt, the total projection. It's about 2 5/16 or so. Okay. That bolt, that's where the 3/4 is going to come into play. 3/4 by 3/4. Okay. Made of steel. Not outrageously magnetic. Not outrageously magnetic. They say it's steel. I would expect that magnet to hit that a lot harder than it is, and I can't explain why. Okay, so that's the business end of this unit. Let's move to Part B on the installation instructions is all of this assembly. It includes this hex wrench, which obviously you're going to use in order to get the unit. I don't even know. I don't even think you need to. Well, yeah, you're going to have to. You're going to use the hex wrench to remove the entire assembly. Okay. That's spring loaded, so we're going to cover that. Make sure it doesn't fly out on us. And find itself in a location that I didn't even know existed in this place. At that point, the bolt will come out, allowing you to get access to the 3 mounting holes through the front of the unit. Okay? Bolt's going to go back in. Just going to get that in and threaded back in. Tighten it up with our Allen wrench, which they don't tell us what size the Allen wrench is. I don't see that as being a a seriously germane dimensional requirement. Okay. Part D is called our bolt receptor. Overall length, about 2 15-30 seconds, right in that range. Okay. You'll be able to get to those 3 holes to mount that. Then we're going to get to the strike plate, which is part E. That magnet grabs that a lot more then I would... No, it's just the bolt head itself that seems... Take that for what it's worth. Overall projection, or overall width of the strike, about 2.5 by about 1 3/8. Thickness of the housing itself, 0.085. Thickness of the strike, 0.12. 0.12. The last thing to show you here on this unit would be the screws that are included. These are wood screws. There's nothing but wood screws here. If you are going to get into some alternative, if you're going to mount this to something other than wood, you might want to think about the fastener package that you'll end up using. They appear to be number 10 by maybe 2-inch length, flathead, Phillips flathead. No, well, not 2-inch, about 1 inch and 5/8. Number 10, I would say that those are as well. Okay, let's switch to the screen view and take a look at the installation instructions and the supporting documentation for this item. Well, this is the item that we're looking at here, and the installation instructions, they're linked to down below here as well. Let's pull them up in this document that I have. Somewhere here. There they are. Okay, so just a quick review on the installation instructions. So what they're saying here is you'll install the D or the E portion, locate bolt receptor on door frame or strike plate on door jamb, attach bolt receptor strike plate with the screws provided, use strike plate in place of the bolt receptor when bolt locks into door jamb. Okay, you can also lock this in the open position as well, should you want to be sure that no one's locking this when it's not supposed to be in the locked position. So let's talk about more which of these two that you're going to use. And to me, it's simple and straightforward. You're going to install. You have two possibilities really here. Using a standard sort of hollow metal frame application, or whichever application you like. Okay, so what you can do is, let's say that your door swings out this way. Same door, just shown twice here. So you get the concept. We've got a couple of doors. So I'm just gonna remove the arrows. Oops. Draw our door back here. So the bottom line is, actually I don't like this one. Here's what I want. What do I want? Yeah, no, we're fine. Two ways to install this. Obviously, if you have an in-swing, your door swinging in, you can bring your bolt, you can slap it up out here, and then your bolt receiver here. Okay, you get the concept. You're going to screw it here, you're going to screw it here. In-swing. Now, what if you have an outswing? Your door is going to swing out, but now your bolt is going to be inside of here. This is where you would use the strike, not the long rectangular bolt receiver. So if you have an outswing, you're not going to use that bolt receiver because you have nowhere to use the bolt receiver. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you're mounting it to what's called the soffit, you'll use the flat strike. And if you're mounting it to the face of the frame, you're going to use the bolt receiver. And again, that part is 2.5 inches wide. So be mindful that this portion here is 2.5 inches wide. Okay, so that really covers all of the installation instructions. Obviously, putting a padlock onto the unit is probably why you're purchasing this in the first place. Now, what I didn't provide you is the ID of the hole in the lock itself is 0.464. 0.465 maybe. What I'm saying is the inside diameter of this hole right here, right there, is 0.465. That's the size that you have to put a padlock into, 0.465. So if you have a padlock shackle that's 3/8, I think you're going to be in real good shape. And obviously I would want to have an inside clearance of, you know, at least an inch. Gosh, no, probably more than that. I would want an inside shackle clearance of probably 1.25 inches is where I'd want to start at a minimum. I don't know that to be accurate, but I would say at a minimum of 1.25 inches. No, that's not... no, I think you're going to need more than that, because when you close a padlock, that shackle goes in further and then releases a little bit. Although the shackle is measured when it's at its relaxed locked state. So 1.25 inches as a minimum would be where I would start a test with. You know, I wouldn't want it excessively long. That just gives me more real estate to work if I was going to work on that padlock shackle. But anyway, let's switch back to the item that we're working on. We have a cut sheet here. Really, this is a product catalog because of how large it is in terms of it being a document. Let's do a find function on here for Control F, A895. That's going to take us to the page, A895. And gives us a summary, a couple of additional items. Chrome plated for corrosion resistance, 3/4 inch hardened steel locking bolt for maximum security. Chrome plated for corrosion resistance. Mounting hardware included. Fully adjustable from 3/4 inch to 2 3/8. And what they're saying there is the projection of the bolt. You take it to its first notch, so to speak, in its locking. And that projection that you're seeing right where my mouse is on the screen, that is indeed 3/4 inch. So you've got three positions, obviously. The first one is just 3/4. And then, you know, probably another 3/4, 1.5 inches, you know, or 1 9/16, and then out to 2 3/8 would be my guess. How they do that, just based on 1, 2, and then 3. Accepts a padlock with 7/16 shackle. Yeah, technically, 7/16 is 0.4375. So, and I measured a bit heavy on that, so sure. Mounting hardware included. Yeah, those wood screws. And the rest of this page is other locking security hardware from the manufacturer, whose link can be looked at here. From that manufacturer's link, you can pull up not only all of the American Lock products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to their current product catalog. This lock service manual is nice because every once in a while it's handy to be able to look at the componentry that makes up a padlock, get replacement parts. Rebuilding padlocks are very typical and common to do. You can buy the shackles, you can buy the springs, the cam plug that's here. The throw member, I forget, stop plate is what that's called. Okay. Spring, shackle, 2-ball bearings, cam plug, or they call it the actuator, throw member or driver, stop plate. Shouldn't be anything else included with this. You can buy all of these parts. Very simple and straightforward sort of construction. This appears to be small format interchangeable core on this page. Yeah, it is. SFIC. So very handy document. Every once in a while you need to rebuild a padlock or know how to take it apart and put it back together. Let's finish up this video on camera. In conclusion, seems like a very nice product, and here's our 3/4 inch. Here's our next. Let's just start at the beginning with that. That first step, about 3/4. Our second position, like I said, 1.5 inches, sure. Our third position, they state 2 3/8, but I'm coming up with 2 1/4. So there you go. Nice quality item, as are pretty much all things that I really work with when it comes to American Lock. They are They're a company who understands how locks work as well. I have communicated to them in the past with technical questions, and they have always been very good about understanding their product and being able to answer the question in such a way that I walked away understanding the answer. And I think you need to. It's a fairly technical product. If you're going to disassemble padlocks, you kind of need to have a working knowledge of how that's going to happen. Anyway, if you have any questions on the American Lock A895 security surface bolt, padlockable security surface bolt, or any other American Lock product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.